Unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time. Okay, so my defense of Erika Kirk, which wasn't really a defense of Erika Kirk so much as it was a defense of fairness, wasn't received well by a lot of you newcomers. And guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because I'm going to continue defending fairness always, And what do I mean by that? I mean by giving evidence that's actually evidence, not stuff that happens in your imagination. I just got finished watching a video from Lily Gaddis, and she's that blonde woman that has a show on Compound Censored with Gavin McInnes, and she's the one that got famous for saying the N-word a lot. She's pretty. It's fun to see a pretty white lady saying the N-word a lot, But, she's a young person, and she's a woman. Okay, first of all, I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers. I know that. It's fine. I don't care. Okay? Nice knowing you. Never met you. Good to have you here while you were here. Happy travels if you leave. So I just watched this thing, and she's watching a video of somebody else that's exploring the dark connections of Erika Kirk. We don't know a lot about her. Oh, amazing. She must be evil. If you don't know a lot about somebody, they're evil. That's a logical jump, right? Not much is known about her childhood. Oh, interesting. So you don't know about somebody. There's 8 billion people on this planet. How much do you know about each one of their childhoods? Oh, not very much. Interesting. Meanwhile, the guy that's saying this, I'm going, who the fuck is this? I don't know anything about your childhood. I don't know anything about Lily Gaddis's childhood. I don't know anything about Donald Trump's childhood. I don't know anything about J.D. Vance's childhood. I don't know. I'm trying to figure shit out about my childhood. Okay? So if you're going to show me a picture of somebody and put scary music under it, what's to know about this person's childhood? Oh shit, that's scary music. I don't know it. You're zooming in on a photo, of somebody smiling, and the combination of the smiling photo of a child and the scary music is making me feel really uneasy. But boy, it's true. I don't know something. That's frightening to not know something. I don't know if I can handle this. I'm going to keep watching for the expose of Erika Kirk. It's mind-blowing to me how many people don't even understand when they're being manipulated. I guess it's because most people aren't manipulators. And, well, they are. They're just not very good at it, or they don't call themselves a manipulator. I have admitted, and I've come to terms with the fact that my interest in life has been art, which is manipulation. For years, I would have denied that because I didn't want to. No, it's just making stuff. It's making things pretty. I'm just putting stuff on a canvas. I'm making stuff. Just hang on your wall. I'm just making you think. I'm manipulating. When you're making an image, you're manipulating. You're trying to say, look at this. Try to see things this way or that way or whatever. And if you're good at it, you can successful. There's lots of different ways to manipulate people. One of my first big hits on the internet was I wrote a story when Michael Moore came out with the Bowling for Columbine way back, 2000 or something? Internet was just first going. This is like pre-Blogspot. When blogs became plug and play and you had to publish your own HTML pages. I saw his movie. I was totally angered by the manipulative tactics that he used. The music, the setting things up, the disconnected things, the misuse of statistics, just the lies. It was so filled with lies and manipulation. I just couldn't stand it, because I was a guy that had a synthesizer in my room. It's still right there. It's right next. It's 10 feet away from me. It's a Roland Juno 106. I bought it when I was 16. It cost me $700, and I had to go to 2 places to buy it. Because the first place I went to was Musicland. I think that was the name of it, in the mall. And I had all the money in my pocket that I earned from Duff's Smorgasbord, which was an all-you-can-eat place. And the guy wouldn't help me because I was just a dumb young fucking kid. And he wouldn't answer some questions for me, and he just treated me like, you're annoying. So I pulled out my $600 or $700. I can't remember if it was 6 or 7, but this wad of money. I said, I was going to buy this, but I don't like the way you treated me, mister. So I'm going somewhere else. I went downtown and I bought it from a music store downtown. But anyway, I took that synthesizer into my room and I just started pressing the buttons and making creepy noises. I could make helicopters. I could make wind. Whoa, beer lasers, tons of lasers, I could just sit in my room with my headphones on for hours, just making sounds and going, wow, this one's scary. This is spooky. This one's cool. Oh, this one's kind of pretty. Oh, tinkly, nice. And just feeling, I wasn't a piano player at the time, We had a family organ in the house, a little, what was it, Day Glow, what's it called? Glow Time, Fun Time, something like that. Playmate. It was called the Playmate. Thomas Playmate. Look it up. The keys would light up. But even then, I wasn't super musical. I was just like pushing around, hearing the different sounds and the drum beats, the samba, the disco. You could play the bass with one hand. It would automatically do chords for you. Cheap little organ, but I sat at that organ for a long time. But anyway, to the Roland Juno 106, it's just all these sounds, and it's just magical that a sound could make you feel something, And I used that to my advantage when I was producing music for other people. Most people just play the music this way, and I would say, well, if you add this little thing in here, you can create a feeling, Sometimes you introduce a hum. I remember this one guy, a friend, my roommate's little brother was producing an album. Good artist, good singer. He wrote some good songs. And he asked me to help him produce some songs, and I did. And his album was called All the Brightness. I don't think it's even available anywhere, but it's still a good album. I liked it. But one of the things I did in that one was I introduced the album. When you put it on, there's this low rumble. Ominous. You can feel it more than you can hear it, And then just and it stops. And then the rumble stops and the music starts. And there's this feeling. When that rumble stops, there's this magical feeling of just like, oh, wow. It feels like you almost float. It's a strange phenomenon. I wish I could do it for you right now. But I'm too lazy, and I don't edit these things. I don't want to make this more complicated. But the point is you are very easily manipulated. Somebody commented yesterday, I don't remember who it was, but they brought up a good point. They said, they were saying this is a reason why they kind of had a problem with Christianity. And they were saying the heart is easily fooled or something like that. It's a scripture. And they were saying in a way that they didn't like that because they were saying you shouldn't trust your heart or you shouldn't trust your senses. And this is where I got in a big fight with everybody about Erika Kirk, is because they're misunderstanding when I say trusting your senses. I'm saying being present, touching something, licking something, lifting something, hearing it with no filter, walking around something physically, tipping something over, licking it. Did I say licking it? Licking it, tapping it, squishing it. Those are your senses, smelling it. That's how we gain knowledge, first-hand knowledge, is through those senses. Now, I don't know who made the thing about sixth sense, and it's hard because people use, I have an uneasy sense about this, So that word gets used more. So I can understand why people were confused when I was saying trust your senses, but I'm trying to limit it to the technology that God gave you firsthand. And the reason why I'm excluding the others is because the senses that are attached to your imagination, like that uneasy feeling that I can create with music, and you can create, you do. You can manipulate people. People say, I can't do anything. I don't have any power. Yes, you do. You have total power. You can make somebody happy today, or you can make somebody sad today. You have magical powers. You can manipulate a room with silence. Just walk into a room and make eye contact with somebody and don't say anything. Just try that. Keep eye contact with them and don't say anything. You have magical powers to manipulate. What are you going to do with those magical powers is up to you. But you have them, okay? You have them, and if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a dancer, if you're a charismatic person, you have tremendous power to manipulate. And you can be manipulated too. Anyway, so this is what we're dealing with when I'm watching this person watching this program about Erika Kirk and all this, we don't know. And then she was in Arizona, went to Arizona State. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything interesting about that? No. She went to school. Wow. She was a beauty pageant contestant. Oh, interesting. Imagine that. A pretty girl becoming a beauty pageant contestant. Look, when you're from my part of the world, Utah, you see a lot of goddamn beauty pageants. Lots. I dated a beauty pageant girl. I wanted to date another beauty pageant girl. I was in fashion shows and plays and like Miss America, Miss Utah, Miss Teen, there's all these Miss this and Miss that in America and everywhere. And you can have your opinions about them, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I don't know. I don't really take a position on it. If we live in a world where people are judged on their looks and we're all looking for somebody to breed with, it's this or that, and we're all looking for an opportunity and to represent our, there's this whole thing that, she's from my neighborhood. I know her. She's a regional finalist and we're going to go to the beauty pageant. We're not, but with the scary music. It becomes, it's child trafficking, as if everything that has now, because this is what I want to get at, okay? This guilt by association shit with the built-in manipulation has got to fucking stop. People got to be fucking, use your goddamn senses to know that when you're being manipulated. Because you can do it to anybody. When you go down the guilt by association thing, nobody passes. You add some scary music to that. You add a murder to that. You add YouTube clicks to that. You add the mob mentality, the hive mind, the penchant we have to rubberneck for danger and something scary and salacious. Who knows why human beings are so fascinated with the tabloid gossip? Who knows why women sit around just talking shit endlessly about the other women in the neighborhood that aren't there, but then they're friends to them when they are there? Humans are weird, man. Humans are fucking weird. They're amazing. tons of potential, incredible, just like miracles, but they're fucking weird, okay? She went on a beauty pageant. And then he goes off on a tangent. John Benet Ramsey's like, you're going to find no matter what. Oh, and he was a Mormon. QN polygamy. QN FLDS. Anything you find. Give me a thing. Worked for Walmart. Cut to the Walmart murders of, this day. Cut to the man that sits on the head of Walmart was once a CIA asset. Oh, great. Are we just doing 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon here? Is that what we're doing? Because it's boring. It's fucking boring. And you can do that with anybody. I did that on Christmas. Okay, here's what I did on Christmas. When I went and had my lesbian Christmas with my lesbian friends, I sat around and I got out my Family Search app because my background is as a Mormon. And we're fascinated with Mormon shit. And I just went around the room and I said, hey, let's find out if we're cousins. Tell me your dad's name, your grandpa's name, place he was born. And we find out that, oh, you're my 7th cousin once removed. Oh, you're this and that. You can find common ancestors. And now in the current world, you can find Facebook overlaps. Oh, shit, I know a person that knew a person that knows the guy that murdered the guy. Imagine that. Friends of the friends. And if you expand it, oh, I worked for a company, and once upon a time, there was a murder at the company. But this is the nature of this video about Erika Kirk. This is Candace Owens' whole thing where she's questioning things. She's such a genius. She's questioning things. She's not fucking questioning anything. She's doing like a retarded, childish, guilt by association game with telephone game. No divulged sources. She's a fucking idiot. She's either an idiot or she's evil, okay? I'm not going to apologize for that. And all you fucking people that want to say, you're dummy, you just fall for the fucking, there's no evidence. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. You want to be fair. You want to be reasonable. Stick around. If you don't, fuck off. I don't care. Okay? She's just asking questions, Berkeley, you idiot. No, she's manipulating people with secret little stories. And I talked to a guy, and he's, oh yeah, who it is? Just show me the fuck who it is. Oh, you're not going to. You're just going to tell me this story, this creepy story. And you know what's weird is now suddenly conservatives, it's like as soon as you find a military person, and by the way, it's kind of acceptable. The military has done lots of things that are bad, but is every single person in the military evil now? Is every single person in the CIA evil? Is every single cop evil? Is every single American evil? Because, hell, they represent us, don't they? So is anybody guilt by association? It's starting to feel that way. Okay, it's starting to feel like this campaign to demoralize every single American, and the government and every single person in it. I'm getting off track, but what I kind of wanted to say is, I need to back up and go back into why I'm not buying any of this all the stuff they're trying to say about Erika with the scary music to say, oh, she's this and she's that. I just go, no, I'm sorry. These are common things. Going to college, being in a beauty pageant. So, oh, here's the big one. But she had this orphanage project. So, and I'm like, hello, do you know anything about the Midwest and white people, Mormons? Okay, first of all, we all go on missions. I was raised from the time I was little to sing this song in primary. 4 years old, 3 years old. I'm singing, I hope they call me on a mission when I have grown a foot or two. I hope one day I will be ready to teach and preach and work as missionaries do. Singing that since I was 4. Why? Because Mormons believe that the gospel should be spread to every corner of the world. They're the original globalists, okay? They believe that the message of Christ needs to reach everywhere. We need to go out and spread the good word. And the Mormons aren't the only ones, you know? But that's part of our program. You can play some scary music under that if you want to, or play some pretty music under that if you want to. That's up to you. I'm not here to manipulate you in that way. I'm just trying to tell you what it's like. And I did that. I went to Brazil, and I went around, and I did my best to baptize people. And I baptized nearly 100 people, you know, in the time I was there for 2 years. And I had good intentions. Believe it or not, I did. I've changed my mind about a lot of the things that I preach, but when I was doing it, my heart was in it. Okay? I thought I was doing the right thing. You know? So when I see somebody and they say, oh, and she had this website where she was trying to start this charity for kids in Romania or whatever, I go, yeah, that's what we do when we're young Mormons or Christians or whatever. We virtue signal, and we even believe it. If you grow up Mormon, I'm going to include Arizona, all that whole Idaho, this whole band of white people, religious people, you know. This is just a standard part of the culture. Lily might not know this. Candace certainly fucking doesn't know any of this shit. Remember how stupid she was? The beehive, oh, the communists, the fucking Czechoslovakians. It's just like, bitch, you don't know fucking shit about what you're talking about. You're just spouting off because you're a retard, you know, and you want clicks. You don't understand what the beehive state means, you know? Put your shoulder to the wheel, push along. Do your duty with a heart full of song. We all must work, let no one shirk. Put your shoulder to the wheel. That's beehive shit. You know, working together. Mormons have an early version of communism called the law of consecration. You know, I object to it. I don't like it. But when Mormons pay their 10% tithing, they're not doing it thinking they're feeding this evil beast. They're doing it thinking they're taking care of their neighbors. They're well-intentioned. My mother, okay, started a charity called Hearts Knit Together. Okay, so let me give you a background. So they're showing Erika Kirk doing all these things for these, you know, sending gifts over and taking care of Romanian orphans or this orphan. I remember the Romanian thing, but I don't know if you do, but I remember there was videos back, you know, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago of these Romanian orphanages. And you got to remember Ceausescu, this evil dictator, was in charge, and all these Romanian kids in the orphanages, and they're just appalling conditions. And you'd see these kids just chained to radiators and just awful. Of course, what do the white kids and the Mormons and the Christians do? They go, we must save them. Because that's what you're taught to do, you know? And my mother took that on. That was her whole thing. She didn't want to talk to her kids, but she was very interested in starting this charity. And her whole charity is this, okay? Hearts Knit Together. She would make these gift baskets. Think of them as Easter baskets. And she would fill them with toys and supplies for use of women and refugees in battered women's shelters, you know? And she started this big thing, and she was on the news, and, you know, she had all these old lady volunteers, and they just have this kind of Santa's workshop where they'd make these kits that would go to help abused women, refugees, and all that stuff. I went to her center. It still exists. You can go look it up. Hearts Knit Together. My sister runs it now because my mom's dead. But It's like a Santa's workshop. That's what the culture does. I asked my mom once, I said, do you ever meet the people? Oh, no. We give them to the police stations, and then the police stations do it, you know, or the ROTC. Literally exactly what they're saying about Erika Kirk, which is going, oh, they had the military delivering these things to the orphanage, and Colonel, and they zoom in on the word Colonel. Oh, it's military tie-in. It's a military operation. My mom, and I felt almost really bad for this one night, you know. This was before she had her stroke, and we were talking about Hearts Knit Together. And she told me about the refugees. You know, Somali, hello, current topic, Somali refugees. And she was helping them. I go, Mom, you got to not help those people, okay? They're invading this country. And she goes, oh, you don't know. These are nice women, and we just blah, blah, blah. I go, Mom, when there's enough of them, they have the vote, and they win the election, Mormonism goes bye-bye, okay? This openness that you have is, you know, it's well-intentioned. It's naive. These people don't want to share. They're going to come over. As soon as there's more of them than there are of you, all this freedom that you have, all this respect where you're allowing, this is literally a true thing. They would let these Muslims use the Mormon stake centers for their meeting house. This is their gesture of goodwill. That's one direction. That's not. It doesn't come back. Goes out, doesn't come back, you know. And I explained that to my mom, and I remember the light going out of her face, like almost like she got scared, you know, like it dawned on her. And I kind of felt bad about it because her intention, and those old ladies, their intention was to do good. You know, I also, when I think of Erika Kirk, I think of this woman who was a good friend of mine in college, in my college age years. You know, she was going to BYU, and I lived in a BYU ward where I taught Sunday school. But before I taught Sunday school, I'd just go to church with this woman named Michelle, beauty queen. She's still, I mean, she's in her 50s now. She looks absolutely amazing. I can't even believe it. She's one of these people that just doesn't age or ages super gracefully, you know, amazing genes. Tan. She, you know, a white woman that's tan. But anyway, I used to hold her hand, and I'd draw on her hand during church. We'd sit through church, and I'd draw these drawings, like temporary tattoos with a blue, you know, ballpoint pen on the back of her hand during church. You know, kind of flirty, but not really. She wasn't really my type. Bigger boned, you know. Anyway, but okay, fast forward. If you go to her Facebook right now, it is filled, and this is so typical. I can't tell you how typical this is of people from my culture. Her wall is filled with all these trips to Africa and helping African kids. This is the story that it's a cliche now. The white woman who goes to Africa to help black kids, or Romania or Cambodia. Not as popular as the black kids. To have a picture, the photo op of a white lady standing with hundreds of black kids around her, looking at her with a big grin on their face. You've seen them. It's a cliche. And I'm not throwing shade at this woman. It's well-intentioned. You know? Scary music. Oh, military, CIA. It's like, you fucking people are just ignorant. Okay? You're lazy and you're fucking ignorant. You're not digging, you're not trying to understand. No, this isn't the same shit as I'm doing with Carl Reiner, okay? I am looking at Carl Reiner's background. I'm trying to understand his culture. When you tie it into communism and this and that, and I can make a soft spot for Rob Reiner because he's the son of Carl Reiner. And they're part of a culture that tells them of the chosen tribe and that you're a constant victim and people hate you because you're part of the chosen tribe. You know, there's a way to be fair and understand people's backgrounds. It doesn't mean you cut them complete slack. It doesn't mean you let them off the hook. But you have to understand the background if you want to be able to explain where you're going with things, you know? And so all these things that people are trying to do, let me tell you another thing about being a Mormon. If you're a Mormon, you are going to be connected to the CIA. You're going to be connected to the government. You're going to be connected to the FBI. I am. Why? Because the CIA and the FBI heavily recruit from return missionaries. You're also going to be part of a lot of multi-level marketing scams. If you're a Mormon, you're probably at one point or another, if you weren't involved in it yourself, you have probably become the victim of a multi-level marketing scam. Because, bless their hearts, Mormons are pretty naive. They're good, naive people. You know, they think that people are better than they really are. You know, they get taken advantage of a lot. That's why all these companies, NuSkin, Shackley, Avon, you know, if you've had a pest control guy or a solar guy come knock on your door and try to sell you, there's a high chance that he was a Mormon missionary, a former Mormon missionary. He learned how to knock doors. He learned how to insert himself. He probably learned a different language. And if he learns Spanish, he's going to be selling solar or pest control door to door in some Spanish neighborhood. That's the culture. Okay, I know a couple of former missionary buddies of mine. One ended up in the FBI, one ended up in the CIA. I'm not friends with them anymore. I didn't follow. It's just what I heard. I don't know, but it's common. You know, who was it? Ezra Taft Benson, the Mormon prophet, was a CIA guy. Oh, scary music. Oh, scary music. You know, do the scary music. It's fine. I don't mind. But you got to remember that this globalist idea, some people in the CIA are still good. Some. I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe these guys that went on missions with me, maybe the second they got recruited, suddenly all their other morals went out the window. They took an oath. They drank some blood. You know, they ate a baby. Initiation ritual. I kind of doubt it. You know, it's fun to tell these stories. It's fun to make the connections. It's fun to go guilt by association. You build up a thing, an organization, you say CIA is bad. Therefore, any connection to CIA, you're bad. No escaping it. I made the connection. Fuck you. You know, oh, he knows a Jew. Oh, shit, look. Oh, here's a picture of him shaking hands with a Jew. Oh, his uncle's a Jew. Oh, shit, he's a Mormon. That means CIA. That's what they're doing to Erika Kirk right now. They're just finding normal fucking shit. To most of us that are from that area are just going, yeah, what? I don't understand what you think is a big deal here. My brother, my younger brother, went on his Mormon mission to Romania. He, too, I think, was involved in some of these Romanian charities. Oh, but it turned out that, you know, some of these kids were sold into sex rings. Yeah, fucker. These kids were already chained to radiators. It was already terrible. A lot of these people going to Romania to buy a kid are trying to buy them from sex traffickers to save them. You ever think about that? Oh, you didn't think of that? Well, maybe start thinking about that. Okay? Remember a couple years ago when they were doing this thing that, oh, everybody's a pedophile and everybody's this, and you can buy. They're selling children in the back of this catalog. What the fuck was it? What company was it? If you buy this armoire for $10,000, it comes with a kid inside. These are people that I'm supposedly friends with, people that voted for Donald Trump, people that align with me on a million other things, and they're saying this shit, and they're going for it. Oh my God, it's so evil. You can buy it. I like, so if you think there's a child in this armoire, aren't you going to buy the armoire? You know? How about pony up 10 grand to save a kid? You think about that? Or do you really not believe there's a kid in there and you're just being a fucking idiot? I think it's probably the latter. You're being a fucking idiot. If you thought that there was a child in that armoire that you could buy and you didn't buy it, you are a monster. Okay? Because it is your duty to purchase that armoire to free that child from their enslavement. So that's what I'm saying. That's the intention. These Mormons that get recruited into the CIA, you know, they've been already taught the chain of command stuff. Mormons are very, you know, everything about the government culture and Mormon culture is pretty much the same. You know, when you have stake presidents, you got the prophet, you got the counselors. It's like the hierarchy is very organized, right down to, you know, a reverse tree. If you just look down the hierarchy, even as a kid, I was deacon quorum's president when I was 12 years old, you know. And then you make me a Melchizedek quorum president, and then you're a Sunday school president, you know, Sunday school teacher, and just always delegating authority and chain of command, and you answer to all this stuff, and boom, scary music, play the scary music. And you can look at it as being scary, or you can look at it as being something like a beehive, or something like an ant farm, or something about like the deer, or like every single government in the entire world. There is no real anarchy in the world. Where there are people, there are hierarchies. So it's just that. But Mormons are raised with a pretty high respect for it, you know? And they want to be part of it. You know, you're taught to be part of it. Go into government. Change it from within. It's your duty, you know, to make it good. Scary music. Anyway, that's what this Erika Kirk stuff is. That's all I'm seeing here. I'm seeing people trying to smear her, and I don't care. I'm not trying to defend her, but I am attacking the tactics that people are using. It's evil, okay? It's evil to suggest to somebody that something normal. It's evil when somebody takes your good intentions and flips them and accuses you of being evil, you know, especially when they don't even believe it. You know, you can understand when somebody actually is creeped out. They've been manipulated by some scary music and some scary yarn on a thing, this and this and that, and whoa, 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 you know. But it's like, if you're not searching to defend the person being attacked, this is my opinion. You can take it or leave it. I don't give a fuck. If you're not trying to defend the person as you're prosecuting them, you're doing a bad thing. Okay? Even as a prosecutor. If you're a prosecutor and you're just trying to win and you're just trying to prosecute that person, put them behind bars, and all you want to do is win, you're an evil prosecutor. As a prosecutor, the defense has a job to do. They need to defend their client, you know, because Lord knows there's nothing worse than a guilty person going, to jail for something they didn't do. That's just horrible. That's horrible. You can call me a dumb fucking liberal if you want to. I don't give a shit. Call me whatever you want. But a prosecutor that knowingly puts somebody behind bars or knowingly just says bad things about sets somebody up, cops that plant evidence, that shit's evil. And this is what I'm seeing from so-called right-wingers, They get a hunch, they get a feeling, somebody else has it, they get the hive mind, they're all, shit, we're being fucked with. You believe the feds? Fed means evil now. Fed means evil. Let me just ask you something, okay? Everybody's talking about Tucker Carlson. Lily was making the point. She said, I don't believe Tucker Carlson. He said he applied for the CIA and he didn't get the job. He got turned down. And she's making a rational point that she goes, his dad was Voice of America, top guy. You don't think that if he applied, they would have accepted him? Of course they would have accepted him. That's her point. Rational point. It's rational. So let's just say Tucker Carlson is a CIA. This is something I've been wrestling with for a little while now, What happens if Tucker is CIA, but I agree with him almost on everything? What does that mean? Because I've convinced myself that the CIA is evil. But what if Tucker's being honest about his feelings and he's CIA? What do I do with that? What if my former Mormon missionary companions that are in the CIA now that I've lost touch with and I don't know them, what if they're good people and they're still in it? What if Tucker is naive? Oh, no such thing. Anyway, let's forget that part. Just what if you agree with somebody that's allegedly part of something that you've convinced yourself is evil? I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I struggle with that. I'm being honest. It's like I've been preaching principle over person all along the way, but I understand that that's easier said than done. Like, for example, Candace Owens, as much as I think she's disgusting, still says things that I agree with. And as a rational human being, you have to be able to allow yourself overlap with all kinds of people. Because even if it's the devil, you got to remember, I'm using the metaphor here, but even if the devil is trying to tempt you into something wrong, he's probably going to be using a lot of your good attributes to do it. And that's why you have to stay vigilant. That old thing, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. My mom, in no way, ever once thought that she was importing the enemy when she was helping refugees from Afghan or Somalia or wherever. I just saw a video posted by one of my Utah friends of he was just driving down the street and he saw this whole group of Muslim women dressed in their black cloaks just walking down a suburban Utah street, And to me, that's another one of those God's poetry moments. It's just like God smacking you over the head and going, look, these women are covered head to toe in black. And they're going down your street and you're still trying to be charitable towards them? It couldn't be more clear, These are fucking ninjas. This covering up shit, that is not how good people behave. You don't walk around covered head to toe in black. That's a ninja. That's a bank robber. That's somebody there to do you harm. God is literally kicking you in the nuts, saying, yeah, that's a robber. Concealing their identity. They're not here to be your pal. Could I make it more obvious? But no, these naive people like my mom, bless her heart, bless her soul. That's what I mean. People have their good intentions manipulated by people. And I'm not even saying that the pest control guys that are hiring former Mormons are up to no good. The world is filled with pests, okay? People have termites. It's a legit business. NuSkin. People need face cream. They want face cream. Maybe they probably don't need it, but they like it. They like slathering stuff, spraying stuff. Psst, psst, psst. This will make my hair shinier. I like it. Avon. Oh, makeup free. Subscription. You can play this scary music if you want and make it evil. But my point is you are being manipulated when you fall for shit like that. When you fall for the tricks of guilt by association, Egyptian planes, this and this. No, just planting doubt, throwing mud, scaring you. Your own government's evil. Look, I don't have a problem with that statement. But when it's not done carefully, when you make it in a way that's so irrational, that means that every single person in the government is, has bad intentions. Knowingly. I could make an argument that they don't know. They're not aware of their intentions. You can make that. I'm examining my own intentions. I always have to sit back and go, what am I telling myself I want, and what do I really want? What story am I telling about my life? What am I denying? What am I in denial about? What don't I know yet about myself? You kind of got to get really honest when you do that. But when you flippantly and casually just associate people with evil without doing any digging or self-reflection, or if you're not cutting any slack, if you're just one of those fucking assholes that just go, I felt it, man. Trusted my senses. You told me. You said to trust my senses. Yeah. Did you notice the fucking scary music? Because that was your senses. Somebody manipulated your senses with scary fucking music. That's what Michael Moore does. By the way, I was just now pointing with a shaky finger like Lewis Black. You can't see that. But I was. I get pretty indignant about this shit. Because I just don't like unfairness. And you know what, guys? You might turn out to be right. I might be the fool, the naive fool, that just can't see that Erika Kirk is a demon. And it might be that my mom is a demon. And my sister is a demon. And Elder Clegg, who joined the CIA, is a demon. A lizard person. And I just never noticed it. My sister got me a ham for Christmas, and I've been eating a slice of it here and there, straight out. I'm amazed that you can cure a ham. Not to change the topic totally, but I was like, how does that salt get all the way through into the middle of the ham? It does. The middle of the ham is just as salty and hammy as the outside, and that's just from having salt on the outside. It seeps all the way in. Pretty magical. But I was telling her, I thought about it, and I thought, this might be the best Christmas gift I ever got. And I went through my lifelong of gifts, and some of the big contenders were a box of Prismacolor pencils that my mom gave me and I used to win a bunch of art contests and make a bunch of things. And then the other one was my rifle. It keeps coming up in this story. You know, the one was like the one that Tyler Robinson used to shirt Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I'm stupid. That's the fat thing. I accept that. Fuck you. Call me stupid as much as you want. I don't care. Get the fuck out of here. But yeah, the rifle that I used to kill my first deer, I thought that was a good gift. But it disappeared. I didn't use it. And it caused me sadness too, because when I killed my first deer, you know, I didn't cry, but I almost cried, you know. My Prismacolors, that's frustrating, drawing pictures, and I'd lose them. But this ham, it's just like everything's good about it. I go to the kitchen, I get out a slice of ham, and I eat it cold. And it's delicious. It's been 100% pleasure. And I think it might be the best gift in my 58 years that I ever got. A ham. Anyway, I told her this. I sent her a message on WhatsApp. And she messaged me back with a little, in WhatsApp, I guess you can have this little round thing. She's like a little picture of her face. And at first I saw it and I went, wow, my sister's getting older. As am I. But maybe I haven't seen her face for a year, you know. But after you're 60, each year kind of puts on 2 years, you know. But the interesting thing is, I was just, my sister's name is Erika, okay? And I've been sitting here saying that Erika reminds me of Erika. Erika Kirk reminds me of my mom, because we share the same culture, right? And down to the orphanage, the charity, the website, Hearts Knit Together. Look it up. I'm not lying. It's part of being white, not Western Utah. What do you call that fucking Utah corridor? You know, it's part of that. But there she was, my little sister, or my big sister, in a little round bubble, wearing her makeup exactly like Erika Kirk's. In other words, just a black line all the way around the eyeball. So it's an interesting way to do your makeup. You know, it's dramatic. It's just like, it's Charlie Chaplin, you know? And it's specific, and the women from my area do that a lot. To most people, it looks kind of weird. I can get how they would say that. When you look at Erika Kirk with the black raccoon thing, it might be a little unsettling. But there's my sister with that exact same makeup. And my mom, boom, same makeup. You know, not as much. My sister does it more than my mom. Anyway, I don't want to come off like an asshole. I am an asshole, but I don't want my assholeness to make you feel bad. You don't need to feel bad. I wouldn't feel bad if you unsubscribed and never listened to me again, because I can be pretty overbearing and pretty indignant and self-righteous when I get on these topics, but that's just in my nature. Take it or leave it. I don't care. Nobody's forcing you to be here, you know? But yeah, maybe before you veer off into Erika Kirk is Satan and I know it, I'm for sure, maybe just consider that you might be being manipulated by people who really want to destroy Donald Trump and the momentum of conservatism in the United States of America. And just maybe take a look at the people that are trying to do that are really trying to destroy that momentum. Who are they? Who are they? What are their childhoods like? Where did they come from? Who are their associates? You know? Who are they associating with? I know who Candace Owens associates with. I know that she was paid millions of dollars by Ben Shapiro. You want to talk about kayfabe? Look over there. Want to talk about a fake fight? Maybe I should put some scary music in here so you'll believe me. Maybe I should put some happy music. My happy music is going to come shortly because I like to have happy music at the end. I don't put it in until I'm done, It's the same song, and I line it up so the music comes in and it gently guides you out of the podcast, delivers you back home safe and sound. It's a manipulation tactic that I use so that I don't have to feel guilty about making you feel like shit while you're watching this, And all I'm asking anybody here to do is to just be fair. Slow your roll. Put down the pitchfork, I know you want to throw that Molotov cocktail, and it might be really fun to do that. And the mob's all riled up. But maybe the target didn't do anything. Maybe you've been manipulated by somebody that wants that target gone. And maybe you should just slow down and go, but what is this person doing? What is Erika doing? Who hates Erika? What is TPUSA? Is it mostly white people? Oh, it is. Who's trying to break it up? Well, a black lady and a Jew. Ben Shapiro is doing everything he can to break it up. He's convinced that white people tried to eliminate his tribe. That most of us are anti-Semites. Mark Levin, he's convinced that all of us, every white person underneath it all, wants to exterminate Jews. He's trying to bust up TPUSA. Candace Owens has been paid, I don't know how much, by Ben Shapiro. I don't know what meetings they had. But obviously she was happy to work for him at one point. Happy to take his money. What is Candace doing? She's destroying any and all coalitions between white conservatives. That's what she's doing. Okay? Whatever story she's using to do it, that's the reality. What is Ben Shapiro doing? That's what he's doing. He's splitting up the white people, the white conservatives. He's getting them to fight with each other. What is Erika doing? She is trying to hold the white people together. She's trying to make sure that a white conservative guy wins. That white conservatives have hope. That's what she's doing. And she's using sparklers, and she's getting all gussied up to do it. How dare she get gussied up? My sister put that same makeup on when she went to my mom's funeral. My mom was gussied up in her casket. I don't know. I didn't go. I was sick that day, and I was disinvited to speak by my other sister, who also black eyeliner and blue eyes. Kind of creepy looking, I get it. If you just stumbled upon it, you go, hey, what's with the Charlie Chaplin makeup? Looks fake. It's fake. You're all fake. But what are you doing? What is she doing? Is she doing anything that is hurting you. Probably not. She's probably not. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you've been misled by Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro and these other motherfuckers, the entire leftist apparatus, the entire press, that are trying to convince you that Donald Trump is terrible, Pam Bondi's an idiot, because they're holding with the Epstein files. They don't want us together at all. They hate it. That's why they hate TPUSA. That's why they're all trying to destroy it in unison. Don't fucking step in and let them. Don't help them, for fuck's sakes. Grow some nuts. You know? Have some discretion. I can hear the unfollows. Fuck you, Merkley. Don't preach to me, you fucking idiot. You idiot, you believe the feds? Oh, you take the Fed narrative, you stupid, gullible, coping douchebag. Yeah, that's me. And I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. But I do hope you have a Happy New Year. Thanks for listening. Unnecessary outro song to totally